morning, folks. It is a brisk 46 degrees this morning, and we are headed out to a secret, undisclosed location north of Reno to pick up yet another M151. Now, this vehicle that we're picking up was part of the package deal with the 61 M151 straight that we picked up a few weeks ago. So he's finally got it dug out from back on the back 40 where he had it stashed, and so we're going to go up today and pick that up, bring that home, and see what we've got there. It's probably going to end up being more of a parts vehicle from what little I could see of it. When I looked at it the first time, it was kind of buried back in some stuff and couldn't really get to it real well. So it appears that it has been cut and re-welded. And from what little I saw, the re-weld job was not a very good job. So it may end up being just there for spare parts. We'll find out. So at any rate, come along for the ride. There's a very good chance that we're not going to be able to get any footage of loading it up on the vehicle. I'm going to talk to the guy when I get there and see if he has a problem with it this time. But he wasn't real keen on the idea of filming it when we loaded it up, when we loaded the last one up. So there's probably a better than average chance we're not going to get any footage of this one being loaded up. So at any rate, come along for the ride, and we'll show you what it looks like once we get it loaded up, and we'll get some footage of it once we get it home. So like I said, come along. Well, as you can see, we've got a M151 on the trailer. It is an A1, so it's got the turn signals on it. As you can see through the back window there, it is missing a steering wheel. It is also missing a steering column, a steering gearbox, and the center link that goes between the two short tie rod ends. that made it kind of a challenge to get it loaded up on the trailer, and that is also why it's loaded up backwards on the trailer, because we had to pick up the front end with a forklift and push it up onto the trailer. So this one is in far worse shape than the 61 that we picked up. So still don't know whether or not we're going to try to make a runner and driver out of this one, or what we're going to do with this one. So but the engine does turn over, which is a good thing. It's missing the grill, it's missing a whole bunch of other stuff, but at any rate, it appears to be fairly low mileage if that's the original odometer that's on it, because it does not show signs of you know, something having over 100,000 miles on it. The odometer's reading 28,000, so I'm hoping that's what the true mileage is on it. So at any rate, stick around. We'll go ahead and do a walk around on it when we get it home, and so you guys can see what kind of a project we've got here. So stick around. All right, folks, well, it is the next day, actually the next afternoon, and we didn't get home until later on, so we're going to take a closer walk around look on this. And we are finding that this has got a whole bunch of rusty spots, and it is a re-weld. We've got the front differential, or a differential, sitting down there in the passenger's compartment. This one does have the early style adjustable seats, so that's kind of nice. All right, well, I got to get that differential out. We'll take a better look, but this corner here is pretty hammered. Judging by the scrapes here, this thing may have been upside down at one point in time. I don't know. I don't know the history about it at all, and the guy that I got it from didn't know anything about the history of it. It's missing the water pump. Okay. And it's missing the top for the air cleaner, and judging by the oil that fell out there, that came out, the oil filter is way over full. I'm not going to flip this hood all the way back over, but it does have the number 2J7876, or at least it was. And it looks like it had antifreeze protection installed August 75. But does have an old voltage regulator in it. It is not attached. It's got a Zenith carburetor on it. So like I said, it is missing the front differential, and it's missing the front drive line. It has the right front half shaft, but the left front one is gone. It's also missing the front drive line, which is not surprising. So, yeah, it's got a pretty significant amount of body damage on it. It's pretty beat up. A nice hole in the side of the body there. The rockers are pretty hammered. This corner's pretty hammered. It does have original exhaust on it. It looks like a lot of parts have been pirated off of this thing, and it looks like it had a California license plate on it at one point in time. Somebody has gone ahead and put a Bubba style trailer hitch on it. They busted off the locating pin for the spare tire. It does have the rear seat mounts left on it, but the front seat support brackets are not there anymore. Missing the blackout brake light. You can see the rest of the body damage on it, but underneath here, you know, it actually doesn't look too bad. So let's go ahead and I don't know if that's the original mileage on it. I don't know if this is the original gauge panel, but let's get this the remains of this tarp pulled out of here. Okay, now with the tarp pulled out of there, we can see it's got some rust out on the floorboard. And I do know that the motor turns over, because as we were backing it onto the trailer, the motor was spinning over because it was stuck in gear, which transmission, that's all it looks like, and it's missing. Thing is missing the parking brake lever. So let's see. Now let's take a look and see how the battery box is. Alright, I can't do this holding the camera, so we're going to have to set the camera up for this. Alright, the seats are in fact bolted on. They pulled the pins on them. Well, there's nothing in the toolbox. Doesn't look too terribly bad, but there's some old wasp nest in there, figures. Let's get the battery box cover off. Come on. Well, the battery box cover doesn't look too bad. And there is 2 batteries in here. They're a little old. But it does have the... Okay, it's missing the crossover piece. And it's hard to tell in there whether the battery tray is rusted out. It doesn't look too bad from the bottom. So, and obviously the steering gear is missing. They took the steering box and they also took the center link. So the only way to get this off of here, there's quite a bit of rust damage underneath. The frame rails are rusted out pretty bad. It's going to be interesting to see what the inside of the fuel tank looks like. Well, let's see if I can get a flashlight down in there and see how much rust. Yeah, that don't look good. So I think that all in all, not real sure what we're going to do with this. We bought this, came with the 61, and its primary purpose was for parts. So once we get her unloaded, we'll go ahead and in the next day or two we'll try to throw a starter on it, because the starter is missing. I noticed that last night. But we'll get this thing unloaded, get it off the trailer, and see what we can do with it. So stick around. All right, well, we're here going to go ahead and get this thing unloaded and try to go ahead and do some pressure washing on it, or at least see whether or not it really needs it right now. So we're going to have to get the forklift over here, and we're going to have to pick the front end up to get it off of there, because without having a center link or steering gear of any sort, we can't keep the wheels straight, and they're independent of each other right now. So they're going to go whichever way either one of them want to go. And so so we're going to have to get the forklift. So we're going to get the forklift fired up and get to it. Now we're going to have to sling this, and in order to get it pulled off, because the forks are pretty short, and the fork extensions that I got are they're not going to be able to be used to pull the load off. So we're going to grab a pintle hitch here and big C-clamp, and a piece of wood. A little piece of thin plywood will go ahead and create a little bit better friction to hold the load, to hold this onto the forks. And for those who are really wondering, no, this is not OSHA approved, but this ain't an OSHA shop, so. All right, that should do it. Alright, we got to get the back chains off. Okay, uppity up. All right, now that we've got it off of the trailer and got it raised up in the air, we can take a good hard look at this thing. And well, you can see right here, that's bent, and this one is bent. This thing definitely went over on its nose, which kind of corroborates what I saw with scrape marks on the hood and everything else. And looks like we have a wee bit of rust out on some of the cross members here. The exhaust actually still looks to be in decent shape, so we'll be able to use that. But yeah, this rust out on the underside is pretty significant.
Now, towards as far as the re-weld goes, this doesn't look horrible. I mean, it looks like somebody was practicing with the bubblegum rods in the arc welder. Other than that, it doesn't, you know, I mean, the back portion of it here looks pretty good. So this back portion may not have been, this may not have been from the same Jeep. You can still see some more of the rust out spots there. And so, but this does have a good heat shield on it. Appears to have a good heat shield on it. So, and the exhaust mounting brackets. So we'll at least be able to use the exhaust off of it. Oh. All right, well, that's it for this one here. We're going to get it, get the Jeep down, lowered down, and find some place to park it. And you'll have to stay tuned for the next video. We're going to try to get the engine running, make sure the engine's going to run, and see what else is missing off of it. But any rate, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Remember, folks, to like, share, and subscribe, and always remember, tread lightly on public lands. Thanks again. Oh, crap. Except for my freaking camera's still up on the forks.